So prehistoric from Australopithecus through Homo erectus to Homo sapiens. How the human is developing in the prehistoric period. Okay, human evolution was there and we can see the migration also. Chimpanzee, gorilla, orangutan, all are called together as great apes. So which one is the closest to the human is a chimpanzee. So our ancestor of human, that is hominins, we can see in the Africa, first one in the Africa. And hominins started to move to the other parts of the world. This hominins has formed noggles. How many years ago? 7 to 5 million years ago. Next we can see the skeleton of Australopithecus, which is in Africa. They are as a tribes. Next, when you come for the Great Rift Valley, we can see the evidence of the prehistoric period. The DNA of chimpanzee is 96% closely related to the humans, which we can see distance of 6,400 kilometer. So we can see these 6,400 kilometer from the northern part of Syria to central Mozambique in East Africa. So we can see the evidence of the prehistoric period. And hominid, they are the species of modern and extinct of great apes. Then hominins, they are tribes. Humans, they have a large brains. They started to use tools. Homo sapiens, Homo habilis, they started to use the tools. When they used the tools is 2.6 million years ago. Homo erectus, they formed before 2 million years ago. And this Homo erectus start to use the hand axe, and these Homo erectus moved to the Asia and Africa. Now we are the human snuggle. Modern humans called Homo sapiens. Before the 3 lakh years ago, they moved around other parts, that is 60,000 years ago. These are the one about how the human evolution and migration has taken place. Okay. Next we will go to the prehistoric culture. That is already I said history is divided into ancient, medieval, middle and modern. In this one prehistoric means how they are that is how the before the ancient period, how the period was divided. I told earth was divided into epochs, era, periods, like that. So prehistoric culture, in this one we are going to learn in the world earliest lithic assemblage, lower Paleolithic culture, middle Paleolithic culture, upper Paleolithic culture and Mesolithic culture, Neolithic culture, Mesolithic, Neolithic. So in the world we are going to learn. After that the same periods, that is lower Paleolithic culture, middle Paleolithic culture, upper Paleolithic culture, Mesolithic, Neolithic in Tamil Nadu. This only we are going to see in the next one. Prehistoric culture. In this period, they doesn't have any evidence Only the fossil bones are there. According to that, they are classifying the species Homo habilis, Homo erectus, and Homo sapiens. So this is a early lithic assemblage, Olduvan technology, lower, middle and upper Paleolithic and Mesolithic culture. That only one by one we are going to see in the prehistoric period. The prehistoric period is divided into these things. Okay. So the chimpanzee and the pygmy chimpanzee is known as bonobo. This is the closest living relatives, and we will see the earliest lithic assemblage of human ancestors. Here in this one, they started to use the tools which was made by the human ancestors. This we can see in the Lomkwi in Kenya before 3.3 million years ago. Then Olduvan tools we can see in Olduvai Gorge in Africa. This is before 2 to 2.6 million years ago. So Australopithecines, they started to use stones, and they started to produce sharp edge flakes. The tools they used for cutting, slicing, everything. When you come for lower Paleolithic culture, this is marking the beginning of the human ancestors, that is Homo habilis, Homo erectus. They started to use the large stone blocks. From that they start to use the hand axes. That hand axes which we can see in the Acheulean. And these tools are found in Africa, Asia and Europe before 1.8 million years ago. So in Asia, Africa, Europe, they started to use the tools before 1.58 million years ago. They used as hand axes, clevers, the tools known as bifaces. It has a physical symmetry, human cognitive skills. The culture is called as a lower Paleolithic culture. So these tools, hand axe, can be also known as Acheulean. Before 250 years to 60,000 years ago in India. Acheulean, that is, this is the first hand axe which was seen in the Acheulean in France. So it is named as the Acheulean tools. And another one I said bifaces. This has both the sides flaking on the both the sides. And they started to use the hunting, and they don't know the language skills, but they used sign language or some sounds they are making. They started to have food, water, sign language they started to use. They started to hunt animals, foods, roots, all this one. In India, we can see the Acheulean tools in Chennai and Izampur in Karnataka and Bhimbithka in Madhya Pradesh. So all the raw materials, stone blocks or pebbles can be seen. This is the main block. From this they are making a small flake. When you come for Middle Paleolithic culture, they started to use the lithic technology which is found in Africa. At that time, modern humans were used this lithic technology before 3 lakh years ago. Okay, and lithic technology, lith means stone. So stone. They started to use the tools as a stone. They started to use the points, scrapers, blades were used. Lithic tool we can see in the Levalloisin, which was named after the town Levallois. They started to preparing the core. Okay, Levalloisin. This culture has formed before 3,85,000 and 1,98,000 years ago. Here the people are called as Neanderthals. They started to bury the dead bodies. Next, when you come for Upper Paleolithic culture, they started to innovate the technology, tool technology. They used to have a long blades, burins. Burins is nothing but this was made from the stone chisel with sharp cutting edge. So modern humans were appeared in this period before 3 lakh years ago. In Europe, they are called as Cro-Magnons, and they start to use the horns, ivory for the making of the tools. Horns, ivories, and they started to have a paintings, bone needles, fish hook harpens, all they have started to develop. The paintings, clay molds, sculptures, images of goddess Venus were made of stone and bones in Europe. Then Ice Age, this has formed before 8,000 years. Why it is called Ice Age? Because it covered with the ice sheets and the snow. That is why it is called as a Ice Age. Mesolithic culture, in this one they started to have a gatherers, that is hunter-gatherers. They start to use the microlithic technology, very tiny artifacts, less than 5 centimeter in size. They started to use the geometric tools such as lunates, triangles, trapezium, scrapers and arrowheads. These are the things during the period of Mesolithic culture. When it comes Neolithic culture, and they started to begin the agriculture. So for Neolithic culture, there was evidence Fertile Crescent region. This covers the region of Egypt, Mesopotamian and Indus region before 10,000 BC. They started to cultivate wheat, barley, peas before 10,000 years ago. This Fertile Crescent regions are Egypt, Israel, Palestine and Iraq. Neolithic period is called as a New Age. During this period, they started to use the stone, that is whatever stones, tools. They started to grinding, polishing, domestication of animals. So they have the productions in the large quantities because of the fertile soil of the banks of the rivers. So they started to settle down in a permanent residence also. So still now we are see the prehistoric culture. In this prehistoric culture we saw about the lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, upper Paleolithic and Mesopaleolithic and Neolithic. All these one we have saw. In the next session we will see all these cultures in Tamil Nadu. Thank you girls.